WWE, CM Punk. I never thought we'd see this guy back. Honestly, I really didn't. But to see him uh, come back the way he has, short promo on Raw, delivered a great one in my opinion. SmackDown, freaking, let me see, it was about, I have it pulled up right here. It was about 10 minutes long, and the crowd was roaring. They were going crazy. Look at him right here with the mic drop, as they called it. It was a mic drop moment indeed. He announced his intentions on why he's back, why he belongs, who he's targeting. There was a lot of energy. There was a lot to, take away from that moment on Friday Night SmackDown. And the crowd was really eating it up. So I have it pulled up here on my end. We're going to break it down. We're going to be here for a little bit. And I'm going to pause at certain points in the promo where we kind of try to go beyond the words that he said. So let me press play here. So he opens up his promo talking about how he's at the top of the hour and that was good news because they weren't going to run out of time. Immediately addressed what we read online in the dirt sheets and the rumors, and that Randy Orton and Dominic Mysterio on Monday Night Raw took too much time from his promo and he wasn't able to, go in the way he wanted to. So I love that ferociousness, immediately charismatic, immediately into the moment, and playing into the crowd as well. I'm not going to get my time cut. You want to chant? Come on. Everyone started chanting. Everyone started, wilding out. And I just love that he's embracing that in a way where, you could call him a hypocrite because when he was a heel, he always made fun of John Cena and other guys that did that, right? And he's never really gone so much of the, except for what he did in AEW, right? Where in AEW, he truly admired the crowd and the reception. And, this is a much older CM Punk. So that's Phil Brooks talking there, just kind of cherishing the moment, which is what The Rock does when he starts his promos. It's something that these older guys, kind of do to kick things off. So as long as it's not as long as the entire promo's not about that or like that, I'm okay with it. I complained about it in AEW. I haven't really complained about it just yet in WWE because he's got into business, soon after. So the crowd going crazy, CM Punk, CM Punk. He's just soaking it in, smiling. And then he talks about how, they're trying to sign him to Raw, they're trying to sign him to SmackDown. And the crowd is all into it, chanting, "We want him on SmackDown." Where are you going to sign? So he's talking about everyone pretty much questioning where the hell he's going and that he's going to leave it up to the fans, whatever they voice. We all know that CM Punk is going to end up on Raw. We all know that the headlines, right? The headlines and the matches that people want to see, Seth Rollins versus CM Punk is at the top of that list. He needs to be on Monday Night Raw, and he's going to be at Monday Night Raw this coming week to announce where he's signing. So immediately addresses that. Love that. And then, hold on, let me rewind here a little bit. Yeah, that's just him cheesing the WWE cheese, smiling, saying about being a Raw superstar. But yeah, exactly, Stunner. Raw's the place for him. And then he says, "I can't hear you." Crowd is roaring. And then this is where things got real interesting. He started talking about the Royal Rumble. He said, "Or do you guys want to see me at the Royal Rumble throw over 29 other superstars?" Kind of planting the seed. And, we saw the promo. We know he's going to circle back to that. But I love that he planted the seed pretty much in the beginning. It reminded me of, like, have you ever guys ever seen stand-up comedy where comedians usually tell a story, it's a joke, it's a punchline that's being set up. They do it early on in their skit or in their bit, should I say, and then they kind of circle back to do a full circle moment. That's kind of what CM Punk did here with the Royal Rumble mention early into the promo. I'm looking at it here. It was at the 3-minute marker out of 11 minutes where he mentions the Royal Rumble. So he's talking about, oh, I'll throw them over the top rope, looking vicious, saying that he's going to climb up the turnbuckle, point at the WrestleMania sign. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what you want to hear from him, because let's face it, in the last 2 weeks, what have we been talking about? CM Punk is back. CM Punk needs to win the Rumble. CM Punk needs a reason to go after Seth Rollins' title. CM Punk needs to main event WrestleMania. This is his chance at redemption. Dude, like, they are literally going head on into everything we want to see and we want to hear. They're giving us what we want. So again, crowd acknowledgement, crowd loving it, and he's just pacing himself. He's pacing himself. He's not, stumbling on his words. He's not going crazy. He's living in the moment. So then he's talking about Cody Rhodes. He kind of does a little mention, a little honorable mention, because Cody Rhodes is also trying to finish his story. Keep in mind that Cody Rhodes is also on the road to redemption, and he's feuding, in the background with Roman Reigns. So then he talks about, what do you guys want to talk about? Obviously with the reference there. Skipping ahead. And then another amazing part, guys. I'm cheesing over this. I'm pacing myself because I'm trying to get all the moments in this promo. And then he goes into the fact that people are saying that they don't like this happy-go-lucky CM Punk. They don't like this cheesy CM Punk, the one that panders to the fans. Remember when MJF, cut that promo in AEW? If you guys watched AEW, or if you remember that promo, it was phenomenal. But if you haven't seen that promo, look it up. MJF CM Punk promo, and MJF literally wrote the script for CM Punk. Insert name of the city, insert name of the wrestler, insert name of this, that, or the other to get the cheap pop. That's what he was doing, and he's playing into it, right? He's playing into it. He's aware, and he addresses the crowd here, saying, People are talking, and I'm listening. Hey, I love you guys. I'm home. This dude is just genuinely happy to be back. He's happy to be able to do this. And when you have someone that's this motivated, right, and this willing to go into, the character, and also within the character speak from the heart, and also, dig deep into their soul, to have motivate at this day and age, with everything that CM Punk has accomplished everywhere in the indies and AEW and WWE, he doesn't need to wrestle anymore. He doesn't need to do this. So, it's refreshing to see him out there and not sound bitter. So he said, let me turn this up to 11. Allow me to be the spicy CM Punk that you all know and love. That's when I knew shit was getting serious. And he does the little shoulder rub, you know what I'm saying? Like that he's kind of shrugging it off. I like that. I like that self-awareness level, because he's just in this point in time, bro. You could just see his evolution. You could see that he's not being just another martyr, right? There's so many tough guy characters out there. There's so many pipe bomb droppers, or people that want to deliver those kind of pipe bomb promos. And he's just very aware of it all. He really is, and that's like the common theme with this segment that he had on SmackDown. So this part was very interesting. Allow me to get comfortable at home. This is me folding and putting up my feet. and my feet have a lot of mud all over it. Right there, he's referencing, you know, everything. And when I mean everything, I mean everything. Remember, he signed a non-disclosure agreement, so he can't mention AEW. He can't really go into detail. So he's doing these subtle drops, and he's mentioning his feet full of mud, everything that happened backstage, all the drama that surrounds him. He's aware. And he's there wiping his foot. Wiping his foot and just rolling with the punches. So then he goes, it's not about what you guys want me to talk about, it's who you want me to talk about, right? Tons of Easter eggs, Carter. Tons of Easter eggs. So then he's saying, you guys want me to talk about somebody that's not here? Obviously, people are going to start thinking AEW. So he's doing the double standard, right? There's a double meaning there. He's letting the crowd go into it. And then he proceeds to immediately focus on Roman Reigns. He's going for the throat, not holding back. And it's funny because when he said talking about somebody who's not here, people realized and they started chanting. Someone who's never here. And you know what's funny? That next week Roman Reigns is returning. What do you think? That Roman Reigns is not going to say something? You don't think that Roman's going to mention this? I'm telling you, things. CM Punk returning to WWE is lighting a fire under everyone. And Zack Ryder, formerly known as Zack Ryder, Matt Cardona posted it on Twitter. If this return doesn't light a fire under you wherever you're at, I don't know what to tell you. So he just name drops Roman Reigns, and everyone loved it. I was like, oh shit. Tribal Chief, I acknowledge you. Congratulations on all your success. Don't forget who the OG Paul Heyman guy is. Boom. Don't forget that he was my wise man first. Dude, what do you think? That CM Punk, especially if Roman sticks around long enough, because I know there's rumors about him leaving for good after WrestleMania or shortly after WrestleMania. If Roman is around long enough, CM Punk and Roman are going to cross paths. That's another big time money match. So right then and there, another little seed planted. So right now, we got the Royal Rumble seed, the Cody Rhodes, and the Roman. That's what he's working on. And then he goes and starts giving credit to his family. He gives credit to his cousin, starts talking about Solo, starts talking about Jimmy, even mentions Jay, because Jay came out on the bump this past week and did an interview, and he gave props and saluted CM Punk's return. He said, hey, I'll welcome him on Monday Night Raw. We could go at it on Monday Night Raw. I'm all open. Jay he seemed at least favorable with CM Punk being back in the rotation. So people are fired up backstage. So he's like, Solo, big tough son of a gun. And he did this in AEW, right? He name drops wrestlers that he's familiar with and wrestlers that he's not familiar with that are going to turn into something at some point. These are the things that I have to wrestle with. So he's kind of just basically doing the nursery, kindergarten layout here, laying out the land, the foundation of like what's possible on SmackDown, what's possible on Raw, weighing out his options. So, hey man, I'm all for it. I'm cheeseballing the freaking promo here. I was grinning from ear to ear. So then, moving along after the bloodline stuff, which we talked about, he's talking about backup, right? He talks about the tag match happening in the main event, and he mentions Randy Orton. Everyone online saw that Randy Orton and him said was up to each other at Survivor Series. And then he also talks about LA Knight and talks about not knowing whether him and Randy can tag and trusting Randy. And how about dropping Kevin Owens? People started sharing videos online with Kevin Owens, you know, talking shit to fans when they were wearing CM Punk shirts. Like, again, so much self-awareness here. So he's like, I'm positive, you know, LA Knight would tag with me, which is cool because later that night they saw each other. Oh, he points at the crowd and he says, someone said Kevin Owens. That's how he brings up Kevin Owens. And then he says that him and Kevin Owens probably might not work out because they're too similar. And then that's where things start to heat up again. Hold on. That's where things... Oh, okay. Here we go. Here we go, guys. You ready? So we're too much alike, right? He's smiling. He's grooving. He's chilling. Here we go. You know, who would feel comfortable working with somebody who would just randomly punch people in the face? You know what he's talking about there? For those of you that aren't aware, he's talking about his former employer, AEW, and some of the drama that went on behind the scenes and things that are being said about him on social media. About him, backstage, fighting, throwing punches, all that shit. That's the reference. You guys wanted him to mention AEW? There you go. And then he's like, he's obviously being sarcastic. He's pulling his neck. He's doing all these faces. It's 2023, ladies and gentlemen. You just can't be doing stuff like that. That's insane. And he just laughs again and looks at the camera with like this evil smirk, like, and just does the little shrug. Dude, that to me was a mic drop moment. You know, so allow me to just enjoy that. I wish I would have recorded my reaction because, you know, for those of you that were disappointed with his promo on Raw for not mentioning AEW, for not talking about his past, that is being 1000% clever and doing it in a way that he could really be let's be honest, we know what he's talking about, but he could literally be talking about anything and anyone. But the crowd there is kind of like, you could tell that some people in the crowd, they looked a little confused. They didn't really get the whole reference, right? But then people started chanting CM Punk and he started loving it, allowed them. Yeah, WWE totally approves this message. Of course, because they know, bro. They know. I told you guys when he got fired. I was at Payback when he got fired, and I remember that night. And I remember that night like it was yesterday. I said, if CM Punk wants to continue to wrestle, which I think he does and should, he will end up back in WWE. Why? Because WWE always does what's best for business, and WWE will mend. And they'll figure out their differences. And if CM Punk cares to continue and wants to continue on the biggest platform, it's WWE. This is a match made in heaven. And here we are on December 8th, right, when SmackDown took place, witnessing CM Punk cut an amazing promo. Talking about a whole lot of nothing. Talked about the Royal Rumble, about a bunch of wrestlers that he may or may not wrestle. Talked about, you know, things that can lead to something. It was crazy. Exactly. Stunner remembers. Everybody's happy to see CM Punk, even JBL. So then everyone's welcoming me back with open arms. And this is all building towards the bigger picture here. He's getting ready to line it up. He's loading up the gun here. He's loading up. What's up, David? He's loading up the gun and he's doing faces. He's just, you know, he's being witty. He's being smart. He's taking his time. And here we go. Except for one guy. Except for one guy who's been very vocal, might I add. One guy. And then he says, there's always that one bad apple that spoils the bunch. another major drop. And I get it. You guys could be like, hey, Lex, man, you're gassing it up. The promo's not all that great. He could have said this. He could have said that. I don't care. I'm going to continue to enjoy this. And you could say PG Punk all you want to try to be a smart mark. You could say that I'm a fanboy and that I'm marking out. But PG Punk is the prime version of CM Punk. Let's just get that out the way. So I'm not going to put any stock in anything he has to say in his whiny voice. We all talk about Seth Rollins' voice. Everyone. It's something that's a known thing. And boom, he takes a shot. He's not even the man in his own household. Exactly, Stunner. Challenged his manhood after CM Punk said that he wasn't going to talk about him. Mind you, Seth Rollins on Monday Night Raw said, I'm not going to talk about that hypocrite. I'm going to talk about this, that, or the other. CM Punk on SmackDown says, I'm not going to talk about that, man. You know, he's his little whiny voice, not even the man of his house. They're not wanting to acknowledge each other. This is like the perfect storm brewing here. And he just keeps doing this with his shoulders. And everyone started singing Seth Rollins' theme song. And he even did the little wavy hands. All he's got is that song, Keep It Up. Boom, another shot at Seth Rollins. And he's just gripping his hand, looking back at the crowd. There you have it. Swinging the fingers around. Dude, this is historic. CM Punk is not supposed to be here. You guys are having fun, and I'm so glad to be back home. To be back on this journey with y'all. Man, and I'm happy he's back. I really am. We're going to find out exactly where I shine on Monday night. So Monday Night Raw, man, he's making it must-see TV once again. And I love how he mentions that he's going to be talking to Nick Aldis, that he has a couple meetings with him, that he has a meeting with Shawn Michaels over the weekend, and that he's going to be meeting with Adam Pearce, and that he's listening to everyone's, idea. I'm here to listen to Nick Aldis. The Heartbreak Kid does the little Heartbreak Kid voice. You know, the fact that why even drop that? It's so dope that he mentioned NXT. You know, that he's going to talk about NXT. I hope he actually appears at Deadline. Can you imagine? I told Eric, I think that there's a chance that CM Punk may appear at Deadline as a surprise. Maybe like a little backstage segment. I promise you I will make my decision then, talking about Monday. And then, hey man, pulling them skeletons out. Talking about the same town he walked out in. Not afraid to face it. All the men that I mentioned have one glaring thing, big thing in common. And that's that CM Punk is back. I am the monkey wrench in their future plans. That's a reference, guys. And their future goals. Loved it, bro. Oh my God. Everybody wanted to talk about finishing their story. I'm back to finish what I started. Getting goosebumps again. On Monday night, I put pen to paper and begin my journey to finishing my story. And that means one thing. Goosebumps again, bro. Main eventing WrestleMania. Mic drop. Oh my God, guys. I know that we took about 25 minutes to go through the promo there, slowly but surely, and I repeated a lot of the things that he said, but so many references here, so much to take away from that, and it was like beating that into the ground. The level of awareness, the level of pride, of characterization. It wasn't just, hey, I'm happy to be back, thank you. It was, everything was with cause, everything was with reasoning. Beautiful. Beautiful to see. 10 out of 10. The biggest thing about the Attitude Era, right? The biggest thing about CM Punk's run in WWE, when he beat John Cena, when he took the title home, left through the crowd, was what? What do those moments have in common? What do they have in common? It blurred the lines with reality. We were watching fiction television, right? Storytelling. But the lines were blurred with a sense of realism, with a sense of, real consequences. And that is something that sells itself and goes far beyond any character that can be written on a piece of paper for someone to speak into a microphone. That's what CM Punk brings to the table. It's a certified level of legit, consequences, rebellion, and fighting back against the system, which is something that was missing in AEW. He had good moments in AEW, and we're going to continue to decipher these messages he's sending. We're going to continue to break these, historic moments as they happen. But to get to these moments now and to really digest what he's putting out there into the universe through his promos, we need to understand the history behind it. Make no mistake about it. Just like Cody Rhodes, who was in AEW, right? Who had a big role in AEW, who had outstanding matches in AEW, great characterization in AEW. The one thing that Cody Rhodes and CM Punk have in common, outside of them being in AEW, is that they are bigger stars now in WWE than they were in AEW. And that says a lot, because when CM Punk went to AEW, it broke the internet for AEW. But when CM Punk went to WWE a couple weeks ago, that shattered the wrestling world. And this promo right here, so many Easter eggs. You give this man a microphone with a sense of direction and an idea in place of where to go, he's going to take you places in terms of entertainment and in terms of just pure content. Beautiful. And you're right, Carter. The multiverse of booking between SmackDown, NXT, and Raw. Worlds colliding and interacting and evolving. That's why I love what he put together in this 11-minute promo. Or 10-minute, because 1 minute was him coming out. Understanding where he came from, what he did, what has happened, is how you can truly appreciate where he's at. Andrade's another one's done a good one to bring up here. So, ending this breakdown at this 30-minute marker, I am here to tell you once again, CM Punk is on a run of a lifetime. strap up, all right? Be patient, because Triple H loves long-term booking, long-term stories, but you will be rewarded. Let's all hope that CM Punk stays in good health. Let's all hope that CM Punk stays in good terms, right? Because this is the final countdown. This is the grand finale that we wanted to see him have in AEW. And I cannot wait to see what he's going to say on Monday Night Raw. I'm ecstatic. I'm ecstatic. Head over heels. Bravo, WWE, for giving this man the opportunity to return and to go off on SmackDown.